Yo, what's up everybody? This is Mosen here again with MTA 49 for the 6th of February 2019. We're fucking back, okay? We're fucking back. So, you might have wondered why there was no video and why no stream for a week. That is because I didn't have internet. And the reason for that was quite simple. When they did the outer walls of this house, they broke the telephone outlet power, outlet thing where the cable goes in. And we just realized this when I switched internet provider this week, and they wanted to come and connect that, and well, it didn't work obviously because there was nothing coming out anymore. So then I had to call 100,000 people and tell them what's going on, and they had to check who's carrying the costs and all that kind of stuff. So basically it took a couple of weeks to coordinate all of this, and to get the technicians here, they had to like drill a new hole into the chimney and put a connection there, completely new cables, and then the telecom had to come and connect that cable to the outside to the hub or whatever. So that all took like 1 week, and all I had was phone internet, and the phone internet in Germany is certainly, limited in the amount, but Telecom gave me 10 gig. They said no problem, whatever you need until to get over that time. But of course, those that internet is not good enough for streaming or uploading anything. So it was just for browsing and being online and playing, but I couldn't really do much more. So I apologize for that, but that wasn't in my control. So I had to build a new connection and everything. So yeah, but that's done, and now we got the sweet fresh internet, so fresh, right? And fucking 40 megabytes upload, and yeah, I mean it's pretty neat, I gotta say. It is pretty neat. And we can, when I'm uploading videos now, it's so much faster. Before that I had 12 megabytes upload, so kind of like 3 times the speed now. Right, so we're back now. So now the hustle can begin. We got a new computer, we got a new internet, and everything is set for the summer. Turns out that we might actually stay in this apartment with my girlfriend, which is an awesome apartment. I'd love to stay here. So that would be the dream, right? But I'll need more money, so please donate. I'm joking. Okay. Let's get into the first topic of the day, and that would be first I want to have something positive, right? Some positive start of the day, and it's a story of my friend Nekrish, and he ran a dungeon, and I thought we could pick up on that. And there was like a rogue trying to ninja an item, right? And so the group got together and also rolled neat on the item to prevent him from ninjaing it. And after that, I think the rogue didn't win it. And what was really cool was that after that, he received a message in the mail, in the in-game mail, and that came in from here I got it from this mail here, Bodryachok. Subject Officer Red Alert. Please accept the compensation. Thank you for writing me. This man will be punished. All the best to you and a good drop. And enclosed were 25 gold as a compensation for that idiot being in their guild and ninjaing something. So I think that's all, calling out ninjas is one thing, but maybe I thought, hey, why not call out a cool officer and something like that once, right? So shoutouts to Red Alert, the Russian guild on Northdale here, for compensating somebody that had a ninja of their guild in their group, and caring about their reputation and not hosting idiots. So shout out to Red Alert. That's very honorable of you. And yeah, some people might second guess if they're maybe in the right guild, or if it's certainly a good gesture for me to think about, rewarding people that call out ninjas. But we've always been pretty hardcore with ninjas, just kicking them out of the guild. We even had some people that were really nice. They ran in dungeons for an item so many times though that when it dropped they just took it. They were really nice people, but even those we had to kick. So we're pretty relentless in that regard. So yeah, that was a cool story that I thought I could just really quickly share, nothing too big. You know, so red alert, very well done indeed. Okay, so we've been gone for a couple of days, and of course a lot of topics I have here. First, a little bit of update on what's going on with guild and everything. So we went to the Blackwind Lair, we got 4 bosses down. We had a bug suppression room shit going on, so that's very, very unfortunate actually. You know, that was pretty stupid. But we still got 4 bosses down, killed Ashlair, no problem, the next Drake. So today, in 2 hours, we're gonna go into Blackwind Lair again, down Oni. We cleared AQ20, of course, and it's going really good so far. And yeah, I've been going around tanking more, right? If you watch the earlier videos, me and Luma were Prot and Red. We used to have like a backup healing spell spec with 20 points into Holy, where we would support heal, because at the start of the guild, right, we didn't want to, you know, but I'm red, I can't heal. If we needed healers, we wanted to be useful. Now we have that healing situation sorted, and I'm basically only tanking. And I specced a little bit into this now. Okay, so I specced back out of the Holy, and there's a discussion about this Seal of Righteousness stuff here, or Strength. We'll get into that in the next MTA, okay? And I think there's a lot of... I've been talking to... who was it? Shit. Birdie Burton. Like having a little debate with him about what talent is better for the Prot. I tested a lot of stuff, we'll get into that later. For now, I specced back into here for the threats and, you know, the basic stuff. And I got the rest into the protection and back into the mana reduction, because I felt like I just noticed when you're tanking a lot, this really does make sense. It doesn't seem like much, but you have such a small mana pool, the Prot Peli, it does really add up. You're playing around with your judgments and seals quite a bit, even, you know, especially when you're in a situation where something goes wrong and you need to react quick. You need to be able to switch seals and judgments. So I went into this back, and I want to go into the parry when my gear gets better, because it's just better than anything else. But right now I just need all the defense I can get and all the armor I can get. So I went into Redoubt, got the hit rating a little bit, because I'm going for the single target threat a little bit more as well. I just noticed I need to push that as well, and it's working good, better than I expected really. We have no problems with me being Prot Peli, but we'll get into that as well. So then I went into the shield specialization, all the normal stuff here, and 10% armor, because I remembered that actually the armor is very, very important up until 11k, which is kind of a soft cap, 10, 11k. Then you can leave it out, but I'm far from being there right now. So the armor, since I'm also AoE tank, this really does add up. 4 points into the defense, because 5 points for 10 defense is not really a great deal, but at the start you kind of need it. I would like to leave this out and just go with these 3-4 points into the parry chance, because 4% negating damage coming into 0 is better than a little bit of block of everything. But right now, you know, the crits are still real sometimes, so I need it. Yeah, then Reckoning, Sanctuary, and we tested also the one-handed specialization talent. It works, increases your white damage, which then also does increase your Seal of Righteousness damage, which is awesome. So that's more threat, more damage, etc. So that's the new spec that's been going on. I would recommend this if you are moving away from the healing a little bit, when you have enough healers. And that also goes into in combination with the new role that I have. And the new role, what that really is, I think I figured out now what you're really doing as a Prot and why it does make sense. So first I thought you're like more of a backup healer, which you are a little bit, but I realized you can really tank most of the stuff. There's a couple of encounters you can't really tank, you shouldn't tank. I will try to do Velstras first, as the first tank that engages at some point, because you can spam all of your max rank stuff. That could be pretty interesting, since you know, I could 1 second before the burning adrenaline runs out, I could just DI somebody and killing myself quickly, and we could have a really smooth tank swap. And the threat should be enough for the first tank, because usually the DPS has to take slow there anyway, and then like the feral tank takes over or something, you know what I mean? And that should really work out pretty good. I'll give you an update on that when I try that out. So let's move into the third topic after a shout out, after an update of what's going on. And today I want to talk about the fourth tank position, okay? And what is that really? So the fourth tank position, I'm just gonna check some auction house in the meanwhile, because why the hell not? The fourth tank position and why it's so important. So first of all, let's look at a raid, right? Why is that important? Why would any of this matter really? Why can't you just bring 5 tanks if you have 5 tanks in the guild? The flask prices are going up, I like that. I'm gonna sell one here. And why does it matter? If you have 5 tanks, why don't you just take 5? So technically, you want to have, tank-wise, you want to have as many tanks as you need, but not one single one more than that, right? And you want to have as many healers as you need, but not have too many, because you want to have as many DPS as you can to make the encounters not last as long, so you don't get, you know, so you don't get as many mechanics and raid damage, right? Makes sense. You want to get through the raid quick, and so as many DPS as you can, but as many healers and tanks as you need. With that in mind, usually what is the case is, for example, for us, you usually have 2 prot warriors and maybe a third one, right? Most guilds have a third prot warrior. You have 2 main tanks, 1 main tank and 2 like off tanks, usually in the general sense. And we have as a third tank, we already have a feral to have a bit more niche and more utility, which is working fine. But usually you have like these 3 tanks that are like 1 main tank or 2 main tanks and an off tank, but they're all prots, right? And then in a lot of scenarios, what you need is a 4th tank, right? Especially looking into AQ40, and you're starting in Blackwind Lair already. There's a lot of stuff you can off tank. You can also off tank with a Fury warrior, but then again, you're putting a Fury that should be DPSing really on a role that, you know, you're just losing damage again. So you kind of want to avoid that, which it does work, but if you can, you want to avoid it. So the problem with the 4th tank is though, right, you're the 4th tank, right, and you're like the 5th wheel on the wagon. Because the problem with it is, it's a very unthankful position to play if you're a warrior. Because you're always last in loot, you're the 4th person to receive it if you're not a Fury warrior, and you usually are only off tanking, and there's a lot of situations where you aren't really needed. So you are running around in the best case already with a nightfall that you got, but your uptime with the nightfall as warrior is pretty, you know, unpleasant to say the least. And so it's a very kind of weird role. So what we thought about the fourth tank, or what we did now, and that's what the role I'm playing basically, and that's why I think it makes sense to put either a feral druid on this position, or a Prot Paladin. And here's why I think the Prot Paladin would be the best choice for the 4th tank position. Now, firstly, you are only tanking in certain situations. We checked all the bosses through, you know, at least AQ40, Blackwind Lair, and MC, and he will really shine in Nax, but that left out real quick for this discussion. Blackwind Lair, MC, and Oni, and all that kind of stuff. You're usually tanking about 60 to 70% of the boss encounters, but more like 60. So on the other encounters, what are you doing, right? So a Prot Warrior, if you put him on there and he's not tanking, he really doesn't deal any damage, his Nightfall uptime is shit, and he can't really do anything else, he doesn't bring anything else to the raid. Furthermore, he takes Prot gear, he needs Prot gear. If he doesn't get it, he doesn't get Fury gear either, really. So he doesn't really get any gear. It's very unthankful, nobody wants to play it. While the Prot Paladin, you can tank just as well. You're an off tank, you're another tank that's there that can, you know, actually tank. But in the worst case scenario, you just put on your healing gear even without talents and you're useful. So that also works, right? But the really cool thing about that is, when you're not tanking, first of all, you're a niche tank, right? So you're a really good AoE tank, and if you gear a Prot Paladin right, and from the start, he is not squishy at all, okay? So for an AoE tank, it's really crazy good, and you can really utilize all of your AoE a raid has, because they won't pull aggro that much. So that's the first thing, AoE tank, right? A niche AoE tank. He brings a res, another buff, and a DI to the raid, which is always appreciated, I guess. And he keeps up a judgment on the boss, judgment of light or judgment of wisdom, which another Pally also can do, but he really has a niche role there, which I will get into now. Furthermore, when he's not tanking, he could use the Nightfall as well. And the Nightfall with a Seal of Righteousness is just doubled, the seal of the Nightfall uptime. So the thing is, Nightfall has a proc chance of like, or proc per minute of like 3 to 4. I think it's safe to say like 3 procs per minute, maybe 2, right? It depends. The thing is with the Seal of Righteousness, since the holy damage, right? It does, the melee attacks cause an additional blah 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 to blah 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 holy damage. It counts as another attack, so the proc per minute got doubled. We tested this on the test realm, and it worked on Lightbringer before, so he had double the procs per minute on this one, because he had another auto attack, technically. So we tested this, and it actually came out at 5 to 6 procs per minute with the Seal of Righteousness up, Nightfall, 2-hand. And that's a pretty crazy Nightfall uptime, will really boost your raid DPS hugely. And so that's the next thing, a Nightfall uptime. A Nightfall wielder with a really good uptime. The cool thing now is, what I have as well, you know, I have raid support set right now. I'm missing the Nightfall still. You know, we're still pushing somebody. But if you read the set bonus of, or set boni of tier 1, first interesting thing is the 3 set. Increases the chance to trigger a Judgment of Light heal by 10%. So if you're the one, whenever you're not tanking, you keep up the Judgment of Light on the boss, you have a 10% increased chance to trigger that heal for your melee. So this really does help to heal a lot. You're really passively keeping all the melee alive. On bosses with a lot of raid damage, this is really handy. And you can just see the melee just being way more resilient to all this raid damage flying around, in combination with Blessing of Sanctuary, which decreases all damage taken by the target by 24 from all sources, and you heal them more, right? So this is just broken. You just put that on, and I was in the healing meters doing like, okay, not a lot, but it was, I mean, I wasn't even healing actively, so I was maybe a quarter of somebody else, just by keeping this up on bosses I didn't tank. The next few are really not that important, but then we got the 8 set. And so what you want to do when you're not tanking, right? You put on the 8 set tier 1, and you keep the Judgment of Light up, heal the raid passively, and then with the 8 set bonus gives the Paladin a chance on every melee hit to heal your party for 190 to 200, so you can definitely say like 200-ish, doesn't scale with spell power or healing. And you put that on, and what you're doing is you are full tier 1, keeping up the Judgment of Light, wielding the Nightfall with a crazy uptime, and almost every hit of the Nightfall heals your party for 200. So every member in the party gets healed for 200. So every proc of this is a K heal. On top of that, what you can also do then, you're just going to be standing in an MP5 int healing gear with the Nightfall, and when shit hits the fan, you're the spellbot, and you can help clean the raid of important, you know, debuffs really quickly. So so that it's just less pressure on your healers and the other dispellers. In the real case of emergency, you can also throw out Flash of Light heals. And these are all things, you see, so you're healing passively, you're healing the party for 200, you're keeping a great Nightfall uptime, you're a better damage source than a Prot Warrior, or at least you're an equal one, right? And you can backup heal, and you bring Blessing of Sanctuary to the raid, you bring another DI to the raid, you bring a Res to the raid, which can also help reduce downtimes. And yeah, you don't compete with other Prot Warriors for gear. In fact, you don't really compete with anybody for gear, because tier 1 is just not a really strong set for pure healers. So yeah, and that's why I think for the 4th tank rotation position, you know, you can tank everything that's needed for that position, and when you're not tanking, you're freaking, you know, crazy useful if you have a Nightfall. But yeah, so that was my thought, and another theory crafting video right here on a Wednesday. Okay, and so it's what I thought about the 4th tank position. Of course, you can also put a Feral tank on there, another one, or just a Prot Warrior and use one Feral tank. Absolutely fine. I was just thinking this is a cool niche thing you can play if you like Paladin, and if not, you just play Prot Warrior, right? Can do a lot of things too. You're just not really. You'll see probably that it's quite boring if you're not tanking, and usually you want tank and then you're useless because you're in Prot Spec. You can't really do anything else. Or you have proper Fury Warriors that also gear some off tanking gear and can also take over. A lot of things work, it depends what you want to do. This raid support, you know, this full tank spec with the intention of raid supporting with a Nightfall and full tier 1 and bringing a lot of utility to the raid and being the spell bot, heal passively, it's a real support role. It's a real role like, you know, the League of Legends supports role. It's good if you have a good support, and it's a really good fun thing to play, right? As of right now, I'm really enjoying this, and in combination with an int MP5, since we don't have illumination anymore, we don't want to go for spell crit right now, right? We want to just go for a lot of MP5, which is good in combination with tanking gear, int, and if anything, then add heal, right? So that we can spam rank 1, be a little bit of a backup healer, and you're just so versatile, you bring so much. And as of right now, it's a lot of fun to play this role. Again, on official, I'll be main tank again, but this role is a really cool, if you like supporting, this is the shit. I mean, I really gotta say, this is a lot of fun, and would really recommend it if you like this kind of playstyle. Yeah, and we did AQ 20 a little bit. We got the Helm of Domination. Now it's time for some enchants, I think. We bought the Cloak of Flames, actually. It's in our AoE gear, right? 5 fire damage to anyone who strikes us with a melee attack. Found that one, got it for 100 gold. And yeah, it's pretty cool. Yeah, got a lot of tier 1. So these things here from... Hold on, what is this now here? Yeah, and the Gauntlets of the Immovable. So yeah, that's a little update from me. Yeah, I hope you still enjoy the videos. I've been a lot of subs lately. Thank you very much for the subs. Guys, very much appreciate that, but I don't want to ramble on for too long, right? You will see me in the next days more now, because everything is finally getting more calm and chill. New internet and everything's running smoothly now. I appreciate all the comments. I will go into and check all the comments again to see if we can talk about that kind of stuff. I appreciate the subs, and why don't you check out the Twitch channel as well? We're growing there also. It's awesome. A lot of fun with the new community, and yeah, I just want to, you know, again, thank you very much. Can't really say it enough. But yeah, thank you very much for watching, guys. If you're German, we also have a German channel now. It's called Mosen Lel, just like the Twitch channel. It's exclusively German though, so we have a podcast there. And yeah, if you're German, check that out. If not, it really won't do very much for you. But yeah, hope everybody's doing all right. And I'm gonna get ready for the raid. and put on the stream in once I'm done editing this. This needs to go out today. I owe that to you. Thank you very much for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next one in number 50, MTA 50. All right, see you guys. Bye bye.